Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your host, Money Mitchell, and it is Money Monday. And today, I'm going to be giving you 10 ways to make $10,000 a month as a student. One thing I want to talk about before I talk about all these hustles, no matter which one you choose, it is going to be equally difficult and equally possible to scale it to $5,000 a month. And that sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. In those 5 hours within your day to put into your hustle, to put into your whatever project that you're going to try to do from this video, it's going to be possible in a couple months, maybe even less if you take off pretty quickly. But like I said, it's going to be, no matter which one you do, each one has the same potential to scale to the point that I'm advertising in this video. You just got to be willing to put those hours in. All right, so the first method I'm going to be talking about is info marketing. Y'all might hear that and think information is free. Like, nobody's going to pay for information. But nah, information is free, but experience is not. In the age we're in today, you don't have to get that experience for yourself because there are options like Patreon where you could pay someone else to give you that experience that they learn themselves. So if you know how to do hair, if you know how to do hair, you know how to cut hair, you know how to do any sellable skill, if you know how to do business, if you know how to start and run a successful business, and you have those receipts to show that, you can sell that information to just about anybody who's really trying to learn it. Because the type of person I am, if I have mentors, anybody who's trying to help me get further in business, further in life with their own experience, I have no problem paying them $100 a month, $200 a month, whatever they ask, really. Because you can't put a price on that type of information. You can't put a price on that type of experience because you don't know what it costs them to acquire that experience, the amount of time it took them to acquire that experience. And for you to save that time for yourself is priceless. So that's one that's always going to be a good one, and it's scalable through the moon. You can keep doing that as long as you have a community that's willing to buy into that, that's willing to pay to give you dollars for that information. You'll always have someone to sell to. And this is better than most things because, for example, if you're going to start a YouTube channel making funny videos, if you're going to start a YouTube channel making trash content, as I call it, no disrespect to anybody who makes that type of content, but you don't really get any value from that content. You're making the person the product. But if you're selling information to people, if you're helping people with your own experience, then you're not making the person the product. You're the product, and you're selling your own experience. And that one, like I said, you can scale it to the moon. And as long as you're helping people make money or better themselves or improve their lives, they'll never not have money to pay you. Because if you're giving them business advice, and their business is going to do better, and they're going to start making $10,000 a month, so $100 to you a month is nothing. You feel what I'm saying? Or they're going to start cutting more people's hair and start making $5,000 a month. So $100 to you a month is nothing. And you only have to get say you're charging $100 a month, you only have to get 100 subscribers paying you $100 a month to get to $10,000 a month. Or it wouldn't take that much time. It would take a lot of time out of your day, but it wouldn't take a long time to grow that type of community. The next one is sneaker reselling. That's something I've been pretty involved in recently. The reason I like it a lot is because I do have quite a bit of money saved up. And if you have money saved up, then this is one you should definitely look into, because sneaker reselling is an almost sure way to turn 1 into 2, or 1 into 1.5, 2 into 2.5, something like that. And if you could do that every time and leverage yourself as far as possible, I use credit. If you're doing this, I suggest using credit. There are a few reasons for this. Say you have $10,000 saved up and you want to make a $15,000 play, and you only have that $10,000 in cash. If you get credit, you can leverage that money to where you can make that $15,000 play and only be spending $5,000. This does increase your risk, but at the same time, it allows you to stretch your money to the point where you can make that $15,000 play, take back that $20,000, and then pay off that $15,000 loan. Now you have $15,000 saved up. And the more credit you use, the more rewards you get. So if you're buying all your shoes with credit, you can get rewards for travel. You can get rewards to buy more shoes, so you buy those shoes for free, or you can get rewards for food, rewards for entertainment. Man, if you're trying to live good, if you're trying to take girls on dates, bro, those rewards will pay for those dates. You will never have to worry about it. You're trying to fly out to Brazil, you want to go see the world, man. You could do that off of that credit. And that's a hack of the sneaker game that I have figured out myself. This is some information that I would be selling to y'all if I had the community to sell it to. The next one is a YouTube channel. I say this one because it doesn't take that much time. It does, but it really doesn't. For example, for me to record an 8-minute video, I got to talk in my car for 12 to 15 minutes. For me to record a 15-minute video, I got to talk in my car in my room for 30 to 35 minutes. And 30 to 35 minutes out of your day is not very long. I spend 30 to 35 minutes showering. I spend 30 to 35 minutes eating. So say I take less time eating, or I turn that TV show off a little early, or even while I'm eating, I take a break, I'm sit down and record a video. That really doesn't take too much time out of my day. And eventually when you get monetized, you'll start pulling in money from those views that you're creating. And if to make $10,000 a month from views, you really have to get like, what, 1 million views a month, which sounds crazy. But when you really do it, those numbers come and it doesn't feel like anything. It doesn't, like, you get used to it almost. And it's like, you no longer get that feeling where it's like, wow, like, you know what I mean? 1,000 views. It's like, oh, 1,000 views. Like, oh, $1,000. Same thing about money, but you'll get to that point. And once you get to that point where it no longer amazes you, you no longer have your emotions tied in it, you start to think bigger, and you either start to think bigger or you get complacent. Never get complacent. Always look up is what my brother says. Never look down at what's below you. Look up at what you stand to gain. But if you just keep growing your content, and especially with YouTube, you'll never stop making money off of those videos. Say you're pulling in 100,000 views 5 years after you dropped a video. It'll be 5 years after you did any work, and you'll be making $1,000 off of that 100,000 views, assuming you're monetized. And say you got 100 videos doing 100,000 views in a month, and that's $10,000 a month. You feel what I'm saying? Or no, that's 100,000. God damn, that's $100,000 in a month. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? So you gotta, if you have 10 videos pulling in 100,000 views a month, that's $10,000 a month. And that's how you get to that goal. That's how you get there. It's not too difficult. Next, this one's specifically for my students watching this. Tutoring. If you're really good at physics, if you're really good at calculus, if you have a really good SAT score, if you go into your community and talk to the parents, talk to the students, and say, you know, if you're trying to get this type of score on your SAT, if you're trying to get, you know what I mean, if you're trying to get this type of score on your physics 1, physics 2, then hey, I can help you do it because I did it myself. And if you have those results to back it, if you have the actual receipts to back it up, then that's an easy decision for anybody who's looking for a tutor. And there are free tutors everywhere, but for someone who is actually advertising the proof that they've done what you're trying to do, the parents of those students and the students will have no problem paying the high for that. And when I say the high, I mean the high. Like, I know some tutors charging $200 an hour, but because they have those reviews, because they have those receipts, they can get away with charging that, and they will always be booked up. Like, you'll call them and they'll be like, oh, this is the only time that works for me. How much you making if that's the only time that works for you? You know what I'm saying? $200 an hour, and say they working 6 hours a day. That's $1,200 a day. You'll be scaling that to $5,000 a week. That's what I'm saying. And that's if you don't work weekends. You work weekends, that's $7,000 a week. So this is one of the most important hustles that I'm bringing up in here. And I know a lot of people around me who are like great students, and a lot of people watch this video who are great students. And if you implemented this hustle in the right way, you could, I don't want to say you wouldn't need school, but $100,000 a year sounds sweet. In school, that's crazy. The next one is the most realistic side hustle. All these hustles are realistic, but this is the one that's going to be, you could start today and you could get to that point today. That's Uber Eats, DoorDash. I drive Uber Eats and DoorDash when I'm home because the money is really good. A lot of people say that you don't make nothing from that, but in my experience, I've got paid nicely, very nicely. And I personally haven't had any $10,000 months, but I do know someone who has. And to be fair, he was working insane hours, like 12 hours a day. But if you're going to work 12 hours a day for that month, it won't be that hard for you to get to $10,000 a month. I don't know how easy that's going to be to do month after month after month as a student. But if you're trying to get to that point quickly, if you need $10,000 next month, if you need $15,000 in a couple months, then do that hustle. Just grind, just do nothing else, and you'll get there eventually. And also with that hustle, what's most important is customer experience. If you really do all the extra things to make sure the customer has a great experience every time, you'll get a lot more tips. You mostly eat off of tips. So if you get like $30 tips here, $20 tips there, $50 tips there, then you're going to be like, you won't even be doing as much work as the next guy who's making the same amount of money as you. You're going to be doing less work, but because you make the customers happier, you're taking home $10,000 a month. If you're not feeling any of these other hustles in this video, that's the one I think you should try. The next way is to start a clothing brand. This one is not as complicated as it seems. You don't have to start a fashion label to sell t-shirts. All you got to do is make t-shirts and sell t-shirts. I know a lot of people who do this both ways. I know people who started fashion brands. I know people who have just made t-shirts and sold those t-shirts. And this is one that's another one of the better ways to make $10,000 a month, because it really isn't that hard, especially if you got good margins. If you're getting your t-shirts for $20, say, and you selling them for $50, you make $30 a t-shirt. Then to get $100, you got to sell roughly 3 t-shirts. That's how you get 100 times. Nah, that's stupid. All you got to do is do that 100 times, sell 10 t-shirts, or sell 3 t-shirts 100 times. All you gotta do is sell 3 t-shirts 100 times in a month, and then that's $10,000. And if you could do that more, you could make even more money. And if you have cheaper prices, you could move more volume, sell more t-shirts. But from the people who I know who do it, the method for that is to charge more rather than charge less, because you could charge less, but people are gonna associate the price of that product with the value you're providing. And you don't want to end up with a Tilly's brand. If it's something you really care about, you don't want to end up with a Tilly's brand. You don't want to end up like the Hundreds. Actually, no, I ain't gonna shit on the Hundreds. The Hundreds make hard t-shirts, but they sell them for $25. You feel me? And it's like, if they were selling them for $50, and it's like, man, I would have a lot of Hundreds clothes, man. But I feel like a lot of people associate the value with with how hard it is to get and how unattainable it is to them. That's why you see brands like Amiri that everybody puts on, and it's like, even though Amiri's kind of lame, nobody really likes Amiri. Even the people who wear Amiri don't like Amiri. You know what I mean? They just wear it because it's Amiri. They got the jeans on because they say Amiri. Like, who got the jeans that don't say Amiri? Who got the purple jeans without the tag? Who got the Subi jeans without the tag, without the sticker on or without the print on the side, the logo on the side? And it's like, not necessarily saying you want to be Amiri, but Awful Lot of Cough Syrup is a perfect example. Their entire business model was making t-shirts that probably cost $25 to make. Honestly, I'm going to show you right now. Their entire business model was taking t-shirts that probably cost $25 to make and selling them for $200. This is one of the shirts I got. It's a dope design. I'm not even going to hate on it. This one's a dope design, but bro, I paid $75 for this t-shirt. And get this, it was 50% off. And I thought I was getting a deal when I bought this. Really, it's a Gildan blank. He ain't even take the tag off of this. And it ain't even the nice Gildan, bro. This is the cheap Gildan. And they sell out a lot of pieces. This is one of the ones that sat, but they sell out a lot of pieces with these Gildan blanks. Print on these Gildan blanks and charging $200 a t-shirt. Think about it. A Gildan blank is $20. $20 every time. That's a 10x return on investment. I'm not saying that's the winning business model, but I'm saying that is a winning business model. And if you got that community that's trying to pay $200 a t-shirt, you could copy and paste that business model and make how many? Let me think how many t-shirts he's got to sell to make $10,000 a month. So just to get to $10,000, I think it would be 50 T-shirts. Would it? Would it be? Yeah, no, it would be 50 T-shirts because $200 a T-shirt. 10 times 200 is 2,000. So 5 times 200 is 1,000. 50 times 200 is 10,000. And then that's minus $20. $20 times 50, which is 1,000. So essentially, you would have to sell 5 more T-shirts than 50, 55 T-shirts roughly to make $10,000 profit, to profit $10,000 a month off of those T-shirts. Just some food for thought for anyone thinking about that method. But like I said earlier, it's gonna take a lot of your time, regardless of which hustle you choose to do, which method you choose. But some of these methods you can scale to the moon, other ones you can't. But regardless of which one you do, if you put in that time and effort, you will get to that $10,000 a month mark, and you will pass it before you think.